Hello everyone, my name is Notepad and on and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? Well, today we're going to be working on Gyee, the tabletop role-playing game. And I got a little bit done from last time, from yesterday. I didn't do too much because I didn't want to do like everything, but I got some stuff done. So, if we zoom in 150% right here, we can kind of see I got the preface done, as well as the how to play. How to play is pretty simple. We kind of went over it yesterday, but for those who don't know, the game is going to be a D10 system. That's going to be a D10, I should say, dice pool system. Dice pool system. You roll your attribute and try to beat your TN. So, for example, let's say you want to climb a wall. You're going to be making a strength check. A strength check with a TN of 6. So, if you roll any of your dice roll above a 6, congratulations. You get a success. Get more successes, do better. Pretty simple. Not exactly the most complex system, but I didn't want it to be the most complex system because guess what? It's not supposed to be. I need it to be adaptable. Oh yeah, and before we continue on, I would like to thank, oh god, the T-Mutt. I want to say it's the T-Mutt, but it could be a bunch of different things. And Maggie, your name's just Maggie, for following. That's bringing us to 90 followers. That's kind of nuts, guys. We're making numbers. 90 followers. That's kind of weird to think about. But, yes, here we are. So, I got all these things done. I also have the never rolled 10 dice at any one time. If a character were to have a dice pool above 10, they would convert each success dice into +1 success. So, a fairly standard system. I didn't need it to be, like, very different and very weird and odd. That's not the point of this. It's be adaptable. So, I am going to be adding in a few side rules, though, that I think is going to be interesting to go over. So, what was that one? Here. So, criticals. Ow. So, criticals and fumbles. So, a character. Let's see. May attempt to raise the difficulty. May attempt to raise the difficulty by 3. Actually, how do I want to do this? Effectively, it would be raises and maneuvers. Yeah, there we go. Effectively, I wanted something a little bit more unique. You have 2 free raises on all attacks starting the round. The raises can be only used to increase damage or add total. Okay. That's what we'll do. Let's see. We want to put that right here. So, a character. It's actually criticals and fumbles. If a character scores a number of tens equal to the difficulty class. Difficulty class. They are actually. How do I want to word this? Pretty much, what I want to do is I want to put in a critical mechanic just so you can have that as an idea of like you're critting, you're doing extra damage, you're doing extra stuff because I think that's cool. I want to do this. Like a critical fail, criticals. Actually, no, fuck it. We'll scrap that. I'll keep that for later. That might be an idea I just have to do later. So, again, we got our base mechanic, how to play, and now I need to do, if I click on the right fucking button, I got a bunch of things open for some reason. I know what I'm doing. 10 explosions. Half of me wants to do exploding 10s, other half of me doesn't. I don't know how I want to do that yet. So, we'll ignore it. So, first off, we have to do character creation. This is going to be the meat. This is the goal. I actually have this written down in my little notebook here. That is going to be the essential thing I want to get done today. Is character creation. Or at least get character creation into a place that is functional. Or decent, at least. So, here's what we have for character creation. We got our 3 base races. I'm going to have to put a side note in for draconians, as well as the Avatar, as in Avatar, I should say, mostly to keep my sanity in check. So I think the first thing we're going to worry about is going to be race. I think it's going to be probably something like start with race, move on to class, then do the element. I think that's going to be the easiest way of approaching this. So we put that right there. So character creation. Characters of... Actually, what do they call the world? I know there's a specific name for it. If we go to the Gyee website. Luxium, that's it. Is that it? Is that... Luxium. Oh, yeah, okay. There we go. The characters of Luxium are a diverse and numerous, with coming from all walks of life, and stationed to fight against the encroaching shadow, and all of the ne'er-do-wells, if I can actually fucking spell ne'er-do-wells of the world. While the most common people of Luxium are human, Gyee are still an important part of day-to-day, important part of society, though they are persecuted due to their, quote, supposed connection with the evil shadow. See, this is going to get messy, because I have to there's going to be shadow, and then shadow, which is very different. The guys are an important part of society, even though they are persecuted due to their supposed connection to the evil shadow. So, characters are built from three stages. Race. Fuck. How do I want to do this? Shadow TM. See, this is where things get messy, because you have to have your race, your class, and your element, and then you also have to have your stat distribution. Now, I get to determine where the hell each of these go, which is going to be a little bit different. So, characters are built from three stages. Race. So, if we could just do race, class, element, but... No, that's going to work. Because your race is also going to give you your base amount of attribute points, which allow you to kind of move things around a little bit. And I'm going to keep it pretty simple, but I'm going to actually have to add a random aspect to that. I'll add a randomizer in as a side note, because that was requested. They're built from characters are built from three steps. Aspects: race, class, and element. A character's race determines who they are, determine what they are, and people's perception. People's perception of them. Humans are the most accepted. But Gyee, with Gyee and constructs being regulated to, I wouldn't say second-class citizens. That's not the correct phrasing. But I guess it would be, because it's messy, because on one half of the continent that is the case, and the other half it is not. So it kind of depends where you are. Humans are the most accepted and numerous of the people of Luxium. But Gyee constructs play an important part in in daily life. The character's class, if I can actually fucking spell, the character's class determines how they approach situations, as well as how they fight. Fight against enemies and threats. Finally, a character's element. The character's element not only determines their rough personality, which we're going to have to get the Chinese internal alchemy for that. That's going to be fun, wink. Finally, character's element not only determines their rough personality, but also their how do I want this? I don't want to say flavoring of their abilities, because that's not the correct phrasing. The character's element not only determines their rough personality, but also their application of, but also the application of their powers. There we go. These are the most important things, because guess what? This is what most characters are going to be composed of. Character creation. Oh yeah, just because I should... Some people get interested in this, some people aren't. The font I'm using is Cabin, and the heading I'm using is Playfair. I'm not entirely sold on Playfair yet. That might change. That was suggested for this font. I couldn't really find a good font. So... bear that in mind. So, let's see, character class, we have a race element class, so next we have to go to our race. So, race, there are... See, I would like to say there are 3 main races. Human, Gyee, Construct. However, it would be more like there's human, Gyee, and then there's split of Gyee that do their own, that are individual. Because you have the Draconians, and then you have the not Draconians, and then you have side races of side races. So it's... So this is kind of like one of those situations where I can't really find like a good solid answer for what I should do here. So I think I'm going to go with the... Okay, race. There are 3 main... There are 3 main races in the world of Luxium: humans, Gyee, constructs. Humans are the most common. Humans are the most common, inventing technology, fighting for the good. Humans are the most common. There are 3 main races in the world. When choosing a race, the character will be assigned their racial characteristics and be assigned a certain number of attribute points, skills. I don't know if I want to do that. Actually, we can probably call these backgrounds, and ability points. I don't know how I want to word that yet. You think I would know how I want to do these things? No, I don't. That's the funny part about this entire endeavor. I really have no idea what the fuck I'm doing right now, mostly because there's just a lot of stuff to worry about. And you may be surprised, but this is a big ass project. So you gotta worry about all of this shit. So mostly this right here, the ability points will be tied to this. All the moves, all the weapons, all the magic, that's what it has to be tied to. Because guess what? I have to accommodate the fact that one fucker is going to have a literal chainsaw and another is going to have foot. These two have to be roughly on par with one another. That's where things are going to get really messy. And I'm okay with that. So, if we go with that, attribute backgrounds and ability points, we'll just mark that in red real fast. And ability, attribute, and ability points to assign. Actually, we want ability points to, if I can actually fucking spell correctly, holy shit, to assign to their character. To distribute among their character. Distribute among their character. Actually, to craft their abilities in character and personality. So, humans. What is the humans thing? What are our human nature? Guess what? It's being human. So, humans, the most common race, the most common and diverse race of Luxium. Humanity, common and diverse race of Luxium. Humanity has flourished over the years. Across the entire world, building wondrous technology. Raising great cities. And delving deep into the mysterious world of magic. There are few things that humans haven't been a part of. In the history of Luxium. However, humanity has one grand drawback. Achieving connection with Flux is difficult at best, forcing only the best of the best to taste that power. Among the powerless, fear blossoms. Humanity, for all its good, human nature, racism. However, humanity has one grand drawback. Achieving connection with Flux is difficult at best, forcing only the best of the best to taste power. Among the powerless, fear blossoms. Humanity, for all its good, is also superstitious, and can be led astray, leading to distinct class divides. Between peoples. Gyee are usually the focus of human hatred. Human hatred, whether for justified or none, or whether for justified or ill, or actually, how I want to word this. Gyee are usually the focus of human hatred, often used as scapegoats for societal ills. So, kind of the idea with humans, you have, like, you're pretty good. Everyone kind of likes you because guess what? You're fucking human. Like, they're not going to get that much, but it's kind of that overriding aspect that you're going to be accepted just about everywhere. Everyone's okay with you because you're human. You aren't a weird animal person. You aren't going to turn into a wolf man. You're just a human being. You're going to wake up in the morning. You're going to eat regular food. You're going to be a regular human being. And everyone likes that. People like it when you're normal. And that's kind of like one of the biggest issues is that, like, you're playing kind of one of these people. Like, you know, you are kind of top form when it comes to humans. Because you can touch flux. You can do flux stuff. It's a bitch, but you can do it. So, we want to do attribute points. So if we do our base attribute points, where did we determine them? We determined them to be 26, if I don't, like 27, I think. Because, wait a second, if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if we do that, we want average to be about 4. So we do average about 4 times 5 is 20, so we have to do about 20. So our average is going to be about 20. We're going to actually bump humans up to 24 attribute points. Ha ha ha, guess what? That's pretty much it. That's what you get. And ability points. I'm going to assign a very arbitrary number here. I'm just going to say ability points X. I'm going to say ability points 20. They don't get really much else in the way of anything. They just get a bunch of ability points. Actually, we want to bump you up to like 27. Because you get a little bit more across the board. In exchange, you are, well, not really that cool. You are, you guessed it, human. Ta-da! And actually, I should say, your presiding form, you know, your, actually, racial ability. Actually, racial ability, human. Actually, I want to say standard issue. I know, flesh and blood. Humanity understands humanity. Wherever you go, you are by nature probably going to be accepted in polite society. Polite society may not be immediately used. Polite society. Actually, humans reduce the TN. Reduce the TN to convince another human by 1 to converse. To speak. To influence another human by 1. So instead of having to roll a 6, 6 or higher to get a success, you have to roll 5 or higher. It's not actually that hard, because humans like humans. Guess what? Ta-da! Like, that's just kind of a thing. It's not really going to be much, but you get a lot more attribute points, and we like attribute points. So that reminds me, we're going to have... Oh yeah, I have to do, let's see, racial health bonus. You're just going to get a flat plus 10. Do I have anything else? Racial bonus? No. Cool. Yeah, you don't really get anything else. Because guess what? You're literally just human. So. Ooh. Racial ability, flesh and blood. Attribute points, 27. Ability points, 20. Racial health bonus, 10. So now I get to do the Gyee. Gyee. I'm going to put a footnote right here. Pronouns to Gyee. Gyee are relatively common in certain circles. But have one distinguishing but have a number of distinguishing features from humans. Not only do Gyee possess, what do they end up calling it? It's their golden eyes, right? It's golden eyes. Golden eyes, yeah. Possess golden eyes. Gold color, actually, I should say gold-colored eyes. Gold-colored eyes. They also have the wondrous ability. Yeah, actually, they also have a natural flux connection. They also have a natural flux connection, allowing them to tap into the world's power with ease. This connection to the flux also connects them with the natural world. Allowing them to take on a Therian form. Changing their body into one of the guardian, into reflection of Luxium's natural inhabitants. %20 of the world of Luxium. Yeah, that's a pretty... I'd say that's a pretty decent amount to kind of do it. Like, relatively common. Like, 20% of the world population being Gyee. That's a big fucking amount. Like, you're gonna run into one, probably. Like, in your lifetime, you are pretty likely gonna find one. It may not be in a positive context, but you're probably gonna find one. So, relatively common. I'm going to say this in certain areas, with the idea that probably because everyone wants to either burn them or kill them, they're probably being shoved in different sides of the continent. I believe it's the eastern side of the continent. I believe it's the eastern side of Luxium, which is like, we are okay with Gyee. I believe, yeah, that's the case. I'm trying to remember my Gyee lore here. I read all the Gyee lore. I read it. Don't think I didn't. I did my homework, allowing them to connect their natural world, allowing them to take on a Therian form, changing their body into a reflection of Luxium's natural inhabitants. In recent years, the Gyee have been targeted by various organizations. Has been targeted by various organizations for various organizations. Most claim they have a malevolent connection to the shadow, bringing its evil into the world and spreading it, while others simply sow dissent against the minority. Many Gyee have either fled their homes. Gyee have either fled their homes or have joined factions in an attempt to survive. While many are able to escape and live full lives, some meet grisly ends. You are one Of the few who have taken you are one of the few who have taken up arms. To save this world. Which actually brings me on societal ills. You are a human. You are a human. An exemplar of your people. You are a human. An exemplar of your people. Of your people with a connection to the flux. You shoulder the burden of your ancestors to bring about the burden of your ancestors to save this world. There we go. You are one of the few who have taken up arms. You are one of the few who have taken up arms in pursuit to taken up arms, whether in desperation or desire to see a better day. You may not be beloved, but you will do everything to save this world. I'll have you know, by the way, constructs are going to be a bitch. Yeah, so, okay, what's your gimmick? Now, here comes the best part. When it comes to Gyee, I literally have to do, what's your gimmick going to be? Because there's so many different kinds of fucking Gyee in the world. I'm gonna, like, half of me is kind of debating on what to do. Because I'm like, okay, we got Hachi here. Hachi's a fucking brick shithouse. Alright, we also got, where's the other one? Like, oh yeah, here's Kitty. Like, Kitty, he's a little cat boy. You can't tell by the name. But yeah, you got Kitty here, who's a fucking cat boy. And they're technically both Gyee, and you're both cat Gyee too. But one's built like a brick shithouse, the other is Kitty. So, trying to make that work is going to be fun. And I have an idea. So, we're going to have our base racial abilities. That's just going to be something right off the bat. Where is my... There we go. I should ask, with the beast speech, is that for everybody? Okay, actually, we'll do plus X ability points. They're going to get 20 ability points. Attribute points, they're only going to get 24 because humans get their bonus. And racial ability, so they're going to get their Therian form. The Gyee are able to shift into their Therian form, allowing them to become physically stronger. And more durable. Shit. I knew this was gonna come up, and it's gonna make me lose my goddamn mind. Okay, so Therian form, Gyee are able to shift into their Therian form, allowing them to become physically strong, allowing them to more directly, take on the aspects of their heritage. Okay, because I was thinking, like, can a wolf Gyee only talk to wolves, or it can talk to cats too? Because, okay, we're doing for everything. That's just going to be a base ability then. Cool. Because, yeah, you got some of these characters which are a little bit more obvious than others when it comes to, like, what they do. Like, hey, look, everyone, it's Moon. He's a big bear man. Guess what? He's a bear. He does bear things. What the fuck is Peter? Who knows what Peter is? I can assume that he's maybe a... no fucking clue. Yeah, I don't know what he is. Nor do I, like... Possibly that's not even the kid, like... You can argue that's not even, like, the point. That you're not really supposed to give a shit what they are. They're just kind of there. Which... a small part of me wants to embrace. Like, a small part of me wants to just say, you become a Therian, doesn't really matter. Because it really doesn't. And it's not represented at all in the game. However, another part of me is like, no, Pat, you damn well know that's not how you want to do things, because you are a fucking autist when it comes to that. So, I'm more taking the aspect of their heritage. So what I might do is... because it's like, what are the, like, what's going to be the key differences between I'm a fucking cat versus I am a fucking bear? Is this going to be entirely attribute driven, or is it going to be this driven? Like, half of me wants to say, like, if I want to play, like, if I want to make Kitty, for example, Kitty is a fucking cat, like, not exactly the most threatening individual in the world. Do I just dump strength and vitality? And that's how I'm doing it. Just like I choose whatever my heritage is, and that's it. But if I want to become a bear, I just have to pump up those attributes. Like, that's one way of doing it. And like, that's half of the something like thing I want to do, is kind of like choose that. And like, Gyee just naturally are a bit tougher. However, they kind of lack some of the... they don't get as much options right away. However, they get a lot more things to work with. They get a lot more toys to play with. So it's kind of a messy situation. Because, like, can you be, physically weak bear man? That's the question. That's the question. Same thing is, can you be a slow cheetah man? I don't know. Like, that's where things get a little bit, like, messy, because I would say, here's the thing, I would say no. It's like, if I want to play a bear man, I'm going to be someone who's going to be pumping my vitality, I'm going to pump my endurance, but I'm going to kind of take a penalty to my intelligence or something. Like, I'm going to be far more average in those categories than my other categories. However, it kind of depends on how you look at things, and it gets a little bit messy in that regard. I think I'm gonna go with that. I think that is the simplest option. But I am going, like, that's gonna be a simple option, but I might put in like a side note. This will be, I need to think on it a little bit more, but I think I'll probably add like a side note being like, if you really want to go detailed on it, do this. So, let's see. Gyee are shipped into their Therian form, allowing them more directly take aspects of their heritage. Should the... like... yeah, like, it's... this is the issue with what I'm dealing with right here. So, yeah, personalizing your forms are predetermined form, but it would also be a nice preset of lazy players, unless it's easy to preset every furry constructs. Like, this is the issue when we get here. When you get Gyee, it's beast speech, telepathy, forming natural bonds with animals, augmented empathy. The problem is, this doesn't really explain one very important aspect. Is there a twink bear man? that doesn't really explain that. Because every single character that is strong is strong. Every single character that is big and tough and scary is big, tough, and scary. And since we don't know what the other people's animal forms are, it's kind of hard to get a better idea of those. Can a person who is a rat man be a 6 foot tall, 900 pound Adonis? Probably not. Exactly. That's where things get messy. Because my thinking is, your Therian form doesn't actually do that much for you outside of, directly take the axe. Should the characters shift into their Therian form, they reduce the TN. They reduce the TN by all checks related to their I guess their natural form. I don't know how I want to actually related to their heritage by 2. Therian form, they release all their checks related to their heritage by 2. So it's kind of the idea of like, what do bears do? Actually, let's do a good example. What does a wolf do? Well, a wolf is going to be pretty good at hunting, biting, and doing things like that. They're going to be good at finding things. You're a dog, effectively, at that point. So instead of saying, okay, it's going to be TN6 to... Oh no, you're tracking someone, it's going to be TN6. If you're in full furry form, you're going to be having a TN4 instead. You're going to be able to do this thing a lot easier. The drawback being is that you are a 6.5 foot tall furry monster walking around trying to find someone. You're not exactly going to be subtle about things. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. They're informative, actually. Should the character shift into... Actually, shift into a... So, actually, I should say is each character has 3 main... Actually, can a Gyee transform do a full transformation? If I'm a wolf man, so if I'm a wolf man, can a Gyee go from human to a partial transformation? I have a tail. To a full transformation, I am my furry form. To a just full, which is just animal. Is that a thing? Because in the lore, they mention it once. Like, oh, he turned into a wolf. But is he turning into a literal wolf, or is he turning into Bara hunky wolf man? Very different contexts. I'm going to go with this for now. So it has 3 main forms. Each character has 3 main forms to take part in. Human. All the benefits of being human. Partial transformation. All the benefits of being human. Actually, no bonuses, no drawbacks. You're just human. No one's going to suspect any different. Partial transformation, which is the Gyee has a -1 TN to all checks involving their heritage's actions, as well as being able to use some of their abilities tagged. Actually, abilities tag. Therein, and then full transformation. The Gyee has a negative 2 TN to all checks involving their heritage, as well as being able to use their abilities tagged. We'll call it full Therian. Actually, we should say is plus 2 TN to I'll have to work on this a little bit, because one of the major issues about transforming is the fact that you are transformed. You are more passionate. You're actually, that's a good way of doing things. So you are pretty much more susceptible to your passions. Plus 2 TN to resist passions. Plus 4 TN to resist passions. You don't have any problems. If you're in partial transformation, you are a lot more emotional. You're a little bit more emotional than most. However, you're able to use all your abilities that you've tagged as Therian. You're able to use you're able to get a -1 on all your TNs. You get a lot of bonuses for being partially transformed. Just when you want something, you're going to do it, and you're going to act on things that maybe not be the best option for you. I don't know how I want to do this yet, but this is kind of like what I'm thinking of. Well, full transformation is you are almost completely a slave to your emotions. So that's kind of the back and forth on that. This should enable, I am correct, this should enable a lot of different options. So if I want to be a wolf man, I'm going to get a lot of bonuses for things like hunting, for fighting, and things like that. Like, I'm doing pretty good. I'm a tough dude. I'm a big, strong wolf man. I'm going to tear your fucking throat out. But, but, I am also going to be incredibly susceptible to people influencing me. I'm going to be the kind of... When you are in full Therian, people are going to be able to fuck with you, effectively. People are going to be able to bait you into doing things, because they damn well know you can. So, decent that, flat health. Speech, emotional knowledge, friendly company. Cute. Emotional review. So, yeah. Yeah, so this should work. Should. In theory, work. Because we kind of get all the benefits here. Like the cane species. Yeah, so you're getting a bunch of bonuses there. But that would also mean things like, I want to be a spider. Like, obviously a spider isn't really going to be good at much else besides doing spider things. But you can also climb on a fucking wall because you are a spider. Actually, I should bump you up to 22 ability points. Racial health bonus. B speech. Racial ability. Actually, we'll show you natural connections. Natural connection. The Gyee are in tune with nature. And as such, they have an innate... So they have an innate connection with its able to mentally communicate with animals. Outside of being able to mentally communicate with animals, the Gyee, I have a -1 TN to all nature-related tasks. To all nature-related tasks, which is going to be some basic things such as like tracking. Actually, what's some good examples you have in here? Emotional knowledge of nature. Intuitive knowledge on things like herbalism and survival. Nature, herbalism, and survival, etc. Right? We'll do herbalism. Okay. Why? Because I can't really split it up. Herbalism and survival. Herbalism, survival, etc. And then our final racial ability is going to be natural flux. Is natural flux connections. Natural flux connection. The Gyee are attuned to the natural world. Are attuned to the natural world, allowing them to access flux with ease. All Gyee characters have I don't really know how I want to do the numbers yet, but we're going to say, I'm going to put this all in caps, going to have plus rage, plus concentration, / plus mana. Which allows them to use their abilities more frequently. Jesus, there's a lot here. But this should, in theory, work just right. Okay, the only thing I'm like not entirely sold on is the racial ability, the Therian form. I'm not entirely sold on that. Because it's messy because there just isn't information there. Like, that's just one of those things, like, there just isn't enough information for me to go off of, because it's not something, nobody gives a shit. Gonna be real, actually, we should say natural instincts. Like, gonna be real blunt with everyone here. They don't really care about this. This is one of those parts where, like, adapting games are always a little bit complicated in some aspects because you don't think about it because you don't need to think about it. All right, what is the effect of me transforming into another monster, into a wolfman? The answer is, who cares? It's not in the game. There's a Chinese man sitting at a desk right now looking at this being like, it doesn't matter. No part of this matters. I just need to make sure that the characters work the way they should. Hence why Moon is always a bear. Even though, by technicality in the lore, he should be able to turn into a human. Sort of. I think. Maybe. I really don't know. Because if I read the lore correctly, it's all Gyee can turn into animals. That's one thing. That's just kind of that. So, exactly, it feels more comfortable being a bear Therian. So, by technicality, we'll do what's a good one? Sig here. Sig here can turn into something. We do not know what that is, but it doesn't matter what that is. It's not the point. For all we know, he could turn into a fucking marsupial, but we don't know, because that's not the point. We're not supposed to care. However, you also get characters such as Yang here, who is a foxman, and he feels comfortable in this form, Sarian form. So it's like, okay, since he's in this form, like technically these are both Gyee. And it's like, oh God, oh Lord, oh Jesus. Like some are pretty some are pretty obvious. Like you can kind of get an idea of like, okay, who's what. Like Quirix is like, yeah, he's a rabbit. Like Takashi here, like, okay, I'm having a strange feeling he might be a bull of some sort. You can tell by the horn. I don't know. It's kind of just me thinking that's the case. Like, all right, this makes sense. But it's like Sig here, like I don't know. Like that's impossible to tell. Or like Sue here. What's Sue's gimmick? Oh wow, Sue is a I guess bird maybe because he's got like a wing motif going on. I have no idea. Not the point. You're not supposed to care. You are not supposed to give a shit. That is not the point. Like, especially when you get into like at first I thought like, oh, it'll be tied to the element, and not really. It's not really that at all. Like Rudolph, is he gonna be what? The fuck is this? But yeah, yeah, there's some you can draw some like comparisons to. And this is not me bashing the game at all. Like, let me remind everyone, I'm not bashing the game for this. That's not the point. This is a game meant to sell something. It was the same thing I was having issues with Azur Lane and a lot of those games, because like Azur Lane and like Kantai Collection, they do not give a shit about the logistics of how these things work. They don't care. Because that's not the point. You're not supposed to care. You're supposed to nod and say, yes, this is perfectly fine of what is occurring right now. This is fine. And some of these aren't like that, like this isn't really like who cares. Everyone looks at it and says, who cares? It's not the point. You're not supposed to care. Like I could make there's a few assumptions, and after doing a little bit of looking around, it is confirmed, I do know for a fact, it is confirmed that there are more than just mammals. That there are avians. Like, I would say, the one stupid guy with a gun. The man with a literal gun that kind of threw me for a loop when I first saw him. He is a bird, obviously, because he's got the bird companion. And how am I gonna put in the, like, companions? Fuck you. Just fuck you. Like, Catherine, I'm like, okay, she's like a wolf or something, obviously. Carter, even, this edgy boy, I have no idea what the hell he is. Like, I'm assuming he's something important, but, like, if Gyee were more the focus of this game, and not just the characters in general, I could work with this a little bit more, and I could expand this system out. However, it's kind of one of those things, like, I have to accommodate a lot of different things, so I'm going to accommodate everything. You're getting everything in exchange for, you know, a little bit of depth. What the hell is Rita supposed to be? A bat? I guess she's a bat. I don't see bat in this, really, but I guess she's like a vampire thing. Okay, no, Pat, don't get involved in, you're going down the rabbit hole. If you go down the rabbit hole, you're going to feel sad. So, she throws bats at people. My God, lady, you're literally our Batman. So, Gyee should work in practice. Their main thing is that they have options. They're going to be doing things a lot, and they're going to have a lot of ideas and concepts to play with. It allows you, the player, to kind of do a lot of different things with it as well. Like, if you want to make a very certain kind of Gyee, it's literally kind of up to you how you want to do. God damn it. It's up to you and how you want to build them. They probably have the most options, relatively speaking. I'm also not going to be able to fit them, like, any images here of Gyee, because there's just a lot to go off of, because, yeah. Yeah, so our final one is going to be constructs. So, constructs. Built for purpose. Built for purpose. Constructs are some... constructs are some of humanity's finest inventions. There are numerous kinds of constructs in the world, allowing them to success. There are numerous kinds of constructs in the each one a specific purpose. Each one having a specific purpose and point to their... Oh. Most constructs have a dedicated... Actually, most constructs have a master or owner. Someone who has exclusive control over them. Exclusive control over their action. No. We have to put that down. This is going to be hard because I can't find jack shit on this. Being honest, I literally cannot find jack shit on constructs. Outside of what has been told to me by the commissioner, I have literally no information on constructs. I've looked everywhere on the wiki. I've looked everywhere I could find it, and the most I can find about constructs is that they are in fact constructs. And the notes are, they are in fact constructs. Let's see, yeah. That's kind of what they have. Let's see, which these ones are going to be the oddest ones because they don't interact with half the systems. So, there are numerous kinds of constructs in the world, each one having a specific purpose and point to their existence. A construct, by their nature, are drawn to the elemental nexus of metal, which grants them a near complete understanding of other constructs nearby. While they are powered by flux, in excess of flux can also quickly lead to their untimely demise as their systems are fried. Constructs in the modern era are ubiquitous and important to the running of society in the cities. While rural people may find one to be odd, their dedication and hard work, and subservient nature makes them easy to adapt. There have been recently a wave of constructs going rogue. breaking their chains, whether by their own means or an outside influence. There have been recently a wave of constructs going rogue, breaking their chains to live their own life. They can be noble, built of metal and powered by wires. You are a construct, one built for purpose and reason, without purpose and reason, without desire. Actually, with a newfound desire, you travel across this world. In this world, on your own, on another's, or your own orders, to save it from itself. Because what constructs are, guess what? Fucking constructs. Recently been away with that, so okay, so racial ability flux capacitors, flux capacitor constructs by their nature are powered by flux, meaning they have no need for sleep, food, water, or even strictly emotional connection. I have no need for sleep, food, water, or water. However, in excess of flux, will inevitably harm their systems, dealing 5 damage if they are ever subject to a mass amount, actually a flux wave. Actually subject to a mass amount of flux power. Emotional cortex. Actually, okay. This inability to properly manage their flux, disallows them from taking the mage, support, or morph class. It's going, Manly. It's going. It's one of the issues that I'm running into is that there just isn't enough information. Like there's information, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of information, but it's a lot of like lore information that doesn't really help me at all. Like it doesn't help me in the slightest, to be perfectly frank. Like that's one of like the biggest issues that I'm running into right now. That there's a lot of lore to go over, but a lot of this lore just doesn't really mean anything, and it gets really, really painful. It's for for a variety of fucking reasons. Right now I'm trying to figure out like how to do like constructs well, because constructs just aren't like let me see the there just isn't really that much on constructs, but they're in. And what there is on constructs, they're mostly regulated to enemies of some sort. And they're like, I'm a security bot that's like 10 feet tall. I'm like, that's great. That's just dandy. Very helpful. I will remember this. Yeah, with the battles with them and stuff, like. Actually, let's go into Magic Quest, shall we? PvP raid, PvP raid, PvP raid. Okay, that's... let's see. We want to do... No. No. Maybe, okay, maybe this. Will this work? Is this the right one? Okay, Rupert Battle Show. Alright, that's great. Okay. So, these are what it means by the constructs. And that's just a fucking Tau battle smech. Like, that's just a Tau battle suit. Like, it's like, okay. Like, alright. We're working with this. We can work with this. This is fine. I'm fine. Let's do it. So, let's see, emotional cortex. Let's see, Need the lack of flux. Can't choose those classes. Blind obedience. Cool, cool, cool. This is fine. Forbidden plane. Don't dream. Cool. Alright, 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 alright. Emotional cortex. Constructs are by their Actually, we can do. Constructs are by their nature naturally attuned to the metal element, forcing them to adopt it right away. They do have access to a second element as well, meaning they have two elements instead of one. Because you are a robot. Remember that. You are a fucking robot. And that's always going to be something that's holding over you to deal with. Let's see. Constructs are by their nature naturally tuned with the metal element, forcing them to adopt it right away. This is madness. Fucking madness. I know it is. But that's the only way I can actually see this working. Because the thing is, since there's no construct character, I can't really address it at all. Since there's no construct character, I can't address it. If I can't address it, that means I have to wing it. If I have to wing it, that means I have to go off what lore is available, and what lore is available is that there are fucking robots doing robot things. Nah. Snap. I mean, they have 2 elements instead of 1. This relationship, relationships with other characters. Yeah, that works. Yeah, no, because if we do this, we have the emotional cortex here. It's the idea that we are now allowed to do other. Okay, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Second element as well. I mean, they have 2 elements instead of 1. So that is important because when we're building abilities, tying it to your element is going to be important. So instead of having just 1 element, you're going to have 2. So someone else might have fire as their element. You're going to have metal fire, or you're going to have metal water, or you're going to be metal earth, or if you really want to be stupid, metal. Just that's your thing. That's your personality that you've developed over time. Okay, so, and finally our racial ability. Actually, 2 elements and 2 elements instead of 1. However, due to the nature of the construct, they are unable to be affected by mind-altering substances. Affected by mind-altering magic, or anything to invade their dreamless space, their dreamless mind. There we go. This is fine. That reminds me, I need to put in these. Attribute points. They are going to actually have the lowest amount of attribute points, but they're going to have the highest amount of ability points. They're going to have an insane amount of them. Why? Because that's how they're going to build themselves. But you're going to have pretty low attribute points with the assumption, this is the big thing, with the assumption that you are going to be investing very heavily into like 2 attributes. You're not going to be investing in everyone. Like, humans can get a pretty good spread, like right off the bat. Their minimum going to be able to get 5 in everything. Their spread's going to be about 5, 5, 5, 6, 6 minimum. Like, they're just going to have a good amount of abilities to actually play with because they're strong, they're tough, they're human. They just don't get anything else. Gyee are going to have a little bit more trouble. They're going to have about 5s across the board with, or they're going to have about 6s across the board pretty reliably with a 5 there if they're dangling. They're encouraged to focus a little bit more. However, bots don't. Actually, I can even reduce this further. Like, they're just going to have a pathetic amount of attribute points. They're going to be focused on, like, two attributes. The rest are going to be, like, 2. With the assumption, mind you, that you are a robot. You are purpose-built. Your attributes may look like, if we're doing, like, strength, intelligence, vitality, endurance, dexterity. This is just me remembering it off the top of my head. So your attributes might look like 6, 6, 2, so that'd be 12, 14. There we go. So this would be 10, yeah, 18. So this might literally be your character. You are dumb as a brick. You do not comprehend some things, but you can pit like a fucking truck. And you are able to resist damage pretty good. The problem is, you are dumb as a brick. Because you are a robot designed to punch things, not think of things. What that just makes, but you're also going to get a lot more ability points. Means you're going to have a lot more cooler moves to actually throw at people. And also things that you can just do. Hey, my hands are giant fists that I can punch through things very easily because fuck you, I'm a robot, and that's my job. So that's kind of the plus and minus there. But in exchange, but since you don't have access to the mage, support, and morph classes, Intelligence just isn't really useful for you to have unless you want to build a certain kind of character. If you want to play library bot, then yeah, pump intelligence. Like, that's an incredibly valuable thing. And if you want to build all your attacks around doing a very specific thing with intelligence, go for it. Exactly. You know, it's like if you want to, as suggested in here, so for Hottie the Barbot, it would be 12, 14, 16, 18. Actually, would this be right? Yeah, this would be alright. Like, you're not fighting. You don't need to fight. Get a bow. Get a gun. What's Hottie going to do? Hottie is going to bring out his secret technique, the Glock. And he's going to pop a bitch. Because that's his... He doesn't really need to do anything else, but he also is going to probably adopt an ability that lets him, fly. Because guess what? He is a robot. Oh no, it's my secret my secret ability, the gun. See, that's just going to be its own fun and exciting thing to worry about, is that I have to worry about the fact that everyone is going... I need to make sure that punching people is just as valid as a maneuver as, pulling out a fucking Glock, which is always a complicated endeavor in these kind of games. Okay, to be affected, attuned. Okay, we got all the races. Races are done. I'm going to put in the avatar side note. I know how I want to do. This is just what it is. That's just what you get. And this gun I found. Okay, so we're good here. We've got all our basic characters set up, which means I gotta go over all the attributes. I don't know where I want to put those. So we're not going to worry about them for now. So this does bring me to classes. So a character's class determines basic combat abilities, as well as certain aspects that the character can adopt. Come on, notepad, wake up. Character's class determines the basic combat abilities as well as certain aspects of the character's abilities. Of the character's approach to dealing with non-combat situations. If I am a fighter, I'm probably going to solve things by punching it to death. Non-combat situations. There are, if I remember correctly, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 6 classes. There are six classes: warrior, ranger, tank, mage, support, and morph. Warrior. Strong and able-bodied. Able-bodies, warriors surge into the battlefield. With weapon in hand, with the intent of brutalizing, using the opposition before they can even retaliate. Warriors are tough, strong, warriors are tough fighters who focus on damaging their opponents and solving issues with their brawn than brains. Which what we're going to do is they're going to get, let's say, +5. We're going to get +5 weapons, weapon abilities, weapon ability, and +5 move ability. But they're going to get +0 magic ability. Like, they're just not going to get a lot of magic stuff to work with. Because guess what? They aren't really designed for that. They're not magic people. Actually, what we should do is they're going to get +1 block and +1 accuracy. That is literally their class. They're designed to run up and beat you to death. So actually, they use melee. Actually, what we should add is they use melee weapons and medium and melee weapons and light armor. Actually, medium and up to medium armor. There we go. They don't have to use medium armor, but they can use medium armor. Because example, let's see what let's do an example warrior. Like Duran here, or Darren. Like, he is a warrior. His entire thing is he's going to run up there and he's going to punch you in the face. Because he is a big muscle man who's going to hurt you because he hates you. Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. But warriors also cover a lot of different aspects depending on how you want to play them. That's kind of the idea. I want these to be fairly open, how you approach the situation. So if you want to play a warrior who is a lot more, let's say, approachable in some aspects, you can play things like Sven here, who's all about, being a little bit more agile. Or you can play, if I can click on the right fucking button, god damn it. Or you can play things like, I don't know, Mira, Mira, a woman. But yeah, you have a few options of how you want to play these characters, and pretty much how I'm going to do armor. Yeah, and then heart, which was just breakdancing. Yeah, breakdancing. Like, alright, cool, this is fine. We can work with this. This is okay. Like, these are all different kinds of warriors. However, all of them, I want the idea that a lot of different characters are going to get a lot of different options when it comes to things. And so, being like super medium armor, how I'm envisioning armor is that armor is going to directly, it's going to lower your speed, which means you're going to be acting later on in the fight. And it's because you're going to be acting later on in the fight, that means you might not have, like, a little bit more room to maneuver. So if you don't want to wear any armor, that's perfectly valid. Ripping all your clothes, being a man who literally just wears Hakama pants is a completely valid tactic because you're going to be acting faster than everyone. However, people like tanks maybe want to put on some armor so they can actually take a hit because you don't really want to be acting right away. But maybe you do want to act right away and put yourself in a position where you can block things easier. Actually, we can do, we'll add in the warrior tag. This is all placeholder, by the way. Like, honestly, it has to be placeholder because, I don't know how I want to do abilities yet. Let's do tank. Actually, we have to do ranger first. So, ranger. Aim true. Actually, with true aim. Good eyes. Rangers dedicate themselves. Tells to picking off the opponent from a distance, or quickly closing the or from a distance, or quickly dispatching the foe in close quarters. Rangers are dedicated to high damage, but lack the ability to properly defend themselves. Should an opponent close the distance. Otherwise known as, I have a gun. What do you do with men with gun? You shoot the other people with your gun. So you're going to get +5 weapon ability. You're going to get +5 move ability. Actually, we can probably do something like this. Give you a little bit more weapon ability. You're only going to get +1 accuracy. You're going to get a ranger tag. You're going to have ranged weapons and light armor at highest. Some of the example rangers are man with what do you have? Or I guess man with maracas. No, he has a gun. No, he just literally has a gun. Alright, Gear has a gun. Alright. What does Kong have? Kong has a stick. He has a stick. Yeah, he just has a stick. That's his gimmick. He has a stick. Alright, Rudolph better have some... Okay, he just has a giant shuriken. Oh, Shiro the Ranger. What does Shiro the Ranger have? He has a foot. That's his range ability. A foot. He's going to punch you in the face with a foot. Yeah, I know it. He kicks you to death with his foot. Yeah, Rangers are... The classes are... we're going to say the classes are a little bit light sometimes when it comes to the interpretation of it. And those interpretations are sometimes a little bit thin. So, that's just something we're going to deal with. Actually, I'm going to actually give that to their move ability instead. And these are just all, like, I just need something to put here right now. And I want to get, my goal is to get the classes done today. And I can worry about all the elements as we kind of go through. So it would be tank, a hulking mass dedicated to protecting their allies. The tank is a bastion against the enemy, allowing them intercept and block incoming damage aimed at their allies. Actually, what we can do is we can do something like this. God fucking damn it. No, 7 move. Incoming damage aimed at their allies. What they lack in raw damage, they make up for in the ability protect the weak, aid those needing it. So your things, you're only going to get +3 weapon ability. You can Why? Because weapon you're not really that impressive. You're going to get +3 move ability. You're going to get +1 block. You're going to get the plus tank tag. You're going to get the tank tag. And you're also going to get the armor tag. And you can use melee weapons, shields, and heavy armor. That's your entire thing. You're going to hit someone with a shield. Or just beat them to death. Just beat someone to death as a tank. Let's see what example tanks we have. Alright, let's do it. Alright, we gotta get some good examples. Okay, that man just has a cane. That man has a cane. This man just has a big ass sword. Alright. Lin Hu. Lin Hu. What do you do? One guards others. He's a god. Marcus. Come on, Marcus. What do you got? Big ass sword. Wow. It's almost like nobody has shields in this game. Why does no one have shields? Yeah, this is gonna be fun. Oh god, there's so much that I have to worry about. And none of it's going to work. Fuck. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so mage support morph. Okay, let's just rip and tear through these. So, mage. Natural world to manipulate flux currents to blast their enemies with powerful abilities. While mages have a repertoire of abilities, they rarely possess the raw. They really possess the raw protection to keep themselves alive in danger. And they're going to get plus 5 move ability, and +5 magic ability. They're going to get the mage tag, and they're going to get an elemental tag. Not an elemental tag, because everyone's going to get an elemental tag. They're going to get the mage tag. Half of me wants to give them something related to that. So they make it like a video game. Okay, cool. That's fine. It is a video game sometimes, and that's just something I have to worry about. Carter, what's your gimmick? Oh, wow, you're a fucking man with cat. You're a man with mask. Is that a car? That's just a car. God. Wait a second. God, no. Why do I click on these? Why do I click on these things? I'm like, wait a second. Okay, magic tag. So they're just gonna get the mage tag right away. However, they are allowed to use they're allowed to use staves, wands, and grimoires. And that's it. Support. And stand by themselves. Support offers, as the name implies, support. Support to those in need. manipulating the world and their elemental nature. Sports generate valuable assistance to their allies in need. Valuable assistance to their allies in need, whether it be miraculous healing, or a more direct encouragement. More direct encouragement to them, or a discouragement to their enemies. So you're going to get +3 move abilities. Oh yeah, I sneezed. Oh Jesus, there's so much to even think about. Okay, discouragement to their enemies. We're going to do +5 move ability. We're going to give them support tag. Actually, we're going to give them a lot more ability. But they aren't really going to get much else. They're going to get staves, wands, and grimoires, because that's really all I can think of at this time. Again, this is just, this is quite literally just a, holdover till I can actually kind of figure out how I want to do most of these things. Which brings me to morph. Fuck. Morph. Okay. It's still there for anyone to see. And I can hear characters propose, so each is different. Okay, alright. I have no idea what the fuck to do with morphs, because the morphs' entire idea is that they're going to have multiple abilities. Unless we want to tie it to a completely separate set of abilities, we're not going to worry about morph right now. We got to focus. See, the thing is, with morph is we have to worry about step 5 before we worry about step 2 right now. Because they're completely different from everyone else. They're a completely separate entity. To even comprehend, to get that idea in place, you need to have something way farther down the line so you can go back and then do it over again. And we don't have that right now because I'm barely know what I'm doing anyway right now. I'm kind of just going where the wind takes me, you could say. I'm gonna put the term here morph, and it's gonna be placeholder. Mostly because I don't really know what to do here, because again, this is all, I barely know what's going on here. Alright. Okay, we got classes, we got races. That's really all I can do right now. What I'm gonna do is, alright, here's the plan. Alright. Here's the plan now. So if we'll go up to the preface. Look at some dude's junk. So what needs to be done still? What is the absolute most important things we gotta do? One, we gotta finish up character creation. By that I mean we need to finish up the elemental. We need to finish up the elements. And just do some cleaning work. That's really all I can really do in that regard. Then we need to move into combat system. We need to go into the ability system because if we don't have the ability system, we don't have the, we need to do stats then. We need to do attributes and backgrounds. And then we need to do abilities. Then we can go into combat. Then we can go into adventuring. We have to do character creation, we got to finish up the elements, we got to finish up the cleaning work, we got to do attributes and backgrounds, then we have to do abilities, then we have to do combat, then we have to do the adventuring system. I don't even know where the fuck to put it. Not adventuring system. There, we want to put the emotional matrix shit here. Fuck all if I know where I want to put that. Then we put adventuring down here. Then finish it off with advancement. With advancement, redo everything, and then redo everything when we get down here. Oh, sweet Jesus. Okay. All right. Okay, I just need to plan this out in my head because tomorrow we're going to be doing the stream for Project Tactics. Tonight I need to try to I'm going to start that video to get the Tainted Bloodlines video done. Gotta get the scripts up tonight. I know where the stop gaps are going to be. I know that. The stop gaps are going to be pretty simple. It is going to be the abilities, and it is going to be... Actually, it's pretty much just going to be the abilities. The abilities is going to be the major stop gap. If I can make it work, though, I have the idea in my mind. I know where it can fucking work, but I don't know how to do it yet. And every time I try to find something, it just isn't working. Okay, so take a step back, redo everything. I think I can do this. Yeah, this is fine. I just have to do it. I'm gonna do a lot of this off stream, by the way, just because I have to. Because there's just so much shit to do. But alright. So thank you all for watching. My name is Notepad Anon. I hope you all had a wonderful rest of your time. I will stream tomorrow because I need to get the Project Tactics video done. We're going to do the Project Tactics stuff tomorrow. That's not going to take too long. I just need to get it done. Friday we will resume the Gyee RPG. This Saturday, depending on where we are, I might just dedicate a Saturday to doing the more Gyee stuff, just because of how important it is to get done. Or I might dedicate it to Project Tactics. A second wave of that, just stream it on YouTube or something. Just dedicate an entire afternoon, pretty much, just to doing it, nothing else. After that, we move on to democracy. Yeah, okay, good. God, there's a lot of shit to do. All right, so thank you all. I am going to drink my sorrows away because fuck me. All right, I am away.